Number one, job creation. I believe that's our number one priority. And now people talk about job creation shouldn't come from the government, and I'm in agreement with that. In fact, I believe that job creation is going to have to come from the private sector. But with that being said, the only way we can do that is build more confidence in our investment markets. And what I mean by that as well, we all know what happened on Wall Street, that they got a little loosey-goosey, and that's what the collapse of the financial system, how that came about. Now, my opponent doesn't believe in tighter regulations on the banking industry, but I believe with confidence that only comes with more oversight, transparency, and accountability. The other thing I think that I believe would be the second priority, we already have this historical healthcare reform, but I believe that the delivery system of healthcare and the cost of healthcare would be the next step that they should do when it comes to the healthcare reform.
Are there other areas, or you think that Wall Street reform and furthering the healthcare reform debate are the primary areas of focus?
I believe that's so. You could talk a little bit about the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. We can't allow terrorists to bankrupt our country. These are two wars that went unfunded during Bush's administration. At that time is when he gave that $1 trillion tax credit to the top 2% income earners. So that has got to be also on the mind. How can we start a responsible pullout of Afghanistan?
To back up to Wall Street reform, as you mentioned, I think you used the word loosey-goosey, but there's a pendulum of regulation swung towards less regulation. Is there a danger if that pendulum swings back of it becoming over-regulated so that...
No. In fact, I was in the housing business for years, and we've seen how things were getting a little looser as far as what the actual Wall Street was doing. Not what the government had set up and the guidelines. I mean, you go back to Stearns and a lot of them, there were a lot of abuses where they weren't actually... like the credit scores and whatnot. A lot of these investors, they were told that the credit scores were going to be this, but they weren't. So when you don't have, tough regulations, and we're not talking about growing government, the agencies are already there. They just need to start doing their job and enforcing their laws. No more cozy relationships either. You look at BP, the oil spill there. You look at the mining accidents. There's a lot that needs to be done with these agencies. They just need to start doing their jobs. Because I really believe now, I was talking to a banker, people aren't investing in the stocks anymore. They're going into bonds, and these bonds are paying as little as 1% or less. The reason he says they're not investing in stocks is because they don't have the confidence there. Now, with tighter regulations, more oversight and accountability, we'll build back that confidence to free up that capital investment that we need to start producing more jobs out here.